First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out here today. Flag Day, I think, is a wonderful opportunity as Americans to show our pride in being Americans. And what better opportunity on Flag Day as proud Americans to tell our government that spending has gotten out of control and it's time to take back our country. And today, just want to say a few words. I know there's some press here. A few words about what I plan on doing, what's going on in our country as far as spending. And right now, I know everybody has been reading figures anywhere between $32,000 to $40,000 of debt per American. Number's a little deceiving because when you look at the real numbers, it's really $118,000 per taxpayer. $118,000 that each one of us who pays taxes owes in national debt. But yet the government today, Jim McGovern, is still voting to tax and spend, tax and spend, tax and spend. In fact, today the president is trying to announce another so-called stimulus plan. I believe another $50 billion that he wants to throw in as stimulus. More taxpayer money. I don't want to leave my children. My daughter's here with me. I don't want her to inherit that $118,000 debt. And that's what it is today. It's growing daily. It's outrageous. It's crazy. We can't afford it. We're borrowing the money now from China. We're raising taxes. We're printing money. And it's gotten way out of control. What I'd like to do today is present a 10-point plan to cut spending. While our sitting congressman here has voted worse voting record than Nancy Pelosi on taxing and spending, it's time we cut, and we cut. Number one, we need a balanced budget amendment. We have to introduce in the federal government what 49 states already have locally, a balanced budget. If we don't have the money coming in, we can't spend it, pure and simple. We need to control the spending. Number two, line item veto. It's been talked about before, it's been thought about before. Constitutional amendment, line item veto, we have to institute it, we have to do it now. We need to limit government spending to the rate of inflation. Why should government spending right now go up drastically as inflation is, if we even have inflation, as consumer prices are going down, the value of the dollar is going down. We have to stay in control of what's happening today. Since past April, our deficit has quadrupled under this administration. It's out of control, has to be reined in. We need a hiring freeze on all federal government positions, non-essential positions. Across the board, no new hiring. Government growth, we added 16,000 IRS employees to monitor the new Obamacare system. How can we afford to pay these people? Government jobs aren't real jobs. It's taxpayer funded. We need private sector jobs. We need to pay off the debt. As I said before, $118,000 per taxpayer we owe as of today. We're adding, and I'm reading this because it's statistics, I want to make sure I get it right, $3.79 billion a day in debt. $3.79 billion a day. Right now, it's estimated interest payments alone this year are $224 billion. Staggering numbers on interest. That's getting us nowhere. Just sustaining today's debt, but we're borrowing constantly. No new entitlements. Until the economy is back on track, we have to freeze all new entitlement programs. We just added Obamacare for a cost of $1 trillion. We have to draw a line in the sand. We have to stop today. I want to, and I will introduce legislation for a sunset committee. Right now we have committees right and left in Congress that look at spending. They create new ways to spend. Just ask Congressman McGovern. New ways to spend, they're wonderful at it. We need a committee set up that will look at each and every administration, agency to cut spending. The sole mandate of this committee will be to cut. Review each and every administration, each and every budget line to find duplications of spending, waste in spending, and get rid of them. Bring the budget down to reality. One committee is not too much to ask. Off-budget expenditures have to end. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Medicare, Social Security Trust, those are all off budget. We need to take control. We need to know where the money's going. We need to control where the money's going. If you don't know where it's going, if you don't know what's happening, you can't monitor as taxpayers. You need to know what's happening so we can control it. No more bailouts. I think that goes without saying right now. We've bailed out too many companies. We've bailed out banks, auto industry. We're about to bail out, and I wouldn't be shocked to hear in the next week or two that we'll be bailing out the oil companies, BP. You can't tell me that they're not going to try to get some sort of bailout and that the government isn't going to try to put in something about too big to fail. We have to stop all bailouts. Private companies have to be treated the way any other business. I'm in a small business. Nobody's going to bail me out. I make it or I break it on my own. If I fail, I should fail. Bankruptcy courts are designed just for that reason. It's the system. No more bailouts, no more government taxpayers' money going to bail out companies, private sector. Unused TARP funds, we need to rein in. $700 billion was allocated. Where's it gone? What's it done? How many jobs has it created? Private sector jobs? It isn't working. We need to cut, draw a line in the sand again, stop the payments out, rein it in, and take the money back, put it back in the taxpayer dollars' pockets. We need a smaller, more efficient federal government. We need it now. I'm estimating $500 billion in savings by my proposals. That's just a start. One person can't do it alone. My proposals can't do it alone. We can save, by my estimates, $200 billion by just leaving current positions in the federal government that are vacant, and not rehiring, not filling those positions. We can survive without filling them. Another $300 billion through the Sunset Committee, minimum. Over time, it will go up. And again, that's dealing with redundancy. It's not dealing with cutting essential services. As a small business owner, I don't sign contracts unless I read them. I'm sure none of you would either. Obamacare, gentleman who may or may not be in his office right now, whose office is right here, I guarantee he hasn't read it, but yet he voted for it. Many other spending projects he's voted for sight unseen. To quote Nancy Pelosi, you'll find out what's in it after you read it. That has to stop. No more spending appropriations without the bills being read, fully, line by line, and understood. My plan isn't necessarily a full cure, it's a start. We need somebody in Congress now that has a plan, that can take action, that can cut the spending. As a gesture today, to show my determination to cut spending and to put a challenge in Congressman McGovern's hands, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to present him with these scissors and ask him to cut, and cut some more. It's time we cut spending, we stop the runaway spending that's currently going on in Congress. Thank you for coming here, and I'll take any questions.